Hello and welcome to this Long Island Weather Report. A sunny but very warm day today. Just some scattered high clouds kind of came in the evening, but very, very, very warm once again. Before I get started, let's go to this post from the National Weather Service closing in on records here with consecutive calendar days with less than 1/2 inch precipitation. Newark is currently at 91 days. That's a record. 90 days at Islip and 83 days at Bridgeport. So these are the amount of days that we've had less than 1/2 inch. Let's see. So we still have yet to break the one. We're not going to break the record at Islip or at Bridgeport, but an exceptional drought nonetheless. Was a nice sunny day today, though a little on the warm side. Did go for a little walk in the pines. And I have a video talking to you about some issues while I was there. Issues not related to the Pine Barrens, but other stuff. But anyway, a very warm day today. We had a record also at JFK. So JFK broke the record to a high temperature set. Record high of 70 degrees was set at JFK Airport today. That breaks the old record of 69 set in 1975. So another record broken when it comes to the warmth that we had. And we were well above normal. Looking at the Islip Climatological Report, a high of 66 and a low of 40. 13 degrees above normal for the high, 8 degrees above normal for the day. And let's see what Central Park got up to here. Central Park got up to 66 as well. It's interesting that JFK wound up being a little bit warmer, but that's because there was no sea breeze today. So that's probably why. Newark probably did manage to get up to 7. Yep, they got up to 70 in Newark. So 70, high of 70, 16 degrees above normal. For the day, for the high. This is the kind of warmth that we've been dealing with. Let's look at what we've got going on out. And you can see there's a red flag warning in Massachusetts. And for us, it's still very warm out there, 57 degrees. This is above the normal high, and it's still warm out there, even with a northwest wind. Just ridiculous seeing this kind of warmth on a northwest wind. We've been seeing that more and more. High of 52, so currently 52, and the dew point is 35 at Islip. And very dry air. And let's see, we're seeing any radiational cooling at, looks like maybe we're seeing a little bit of radiational cooling at Gabreski Airport. Yeah, 45 degrees. So if the winds drop off enough, it looks like we are seeing that in New Jersey, though. 43 at Miller Air Park. There is some radiational cooling. But looking at the highs on the map today, another ridiculously warm day today. Mid-60s to low 70s, or mid-60s to around 70. Pretty much everywhere on Long Island, mid-60s. Very warm, very much above normal. Mid-60s, except for JFK, which, again, for some reason was warmer. Without that sea breeze, JFK can be pretty warm. And then looking at New Jersey... well, not quite 70. 66 at Miller Air Park. Did not hit 70 there. Kind of surprising that it didn't. Looking at the lows, West Hampton got down to 32 this morning. So, again, they enjoyed some nice cool temperatures there. The Islip got down to 41. So, lows generally in the low to mid-40s in most places, but in the Pine Barrens it got close to freezing. Of course, 50 at Central Park, which is probably what my alley was at, too. It's very warm in the alley right now, actually. I may have to put the air conditioner on. Between that and some really noxious fumes, 34 degrees for a low at Miller Air Park. I know, ridiculous talking about putting the air conditioner on. But between the ridiculous warmth that we have and where I live, this is what we're dealing with. It's also a new wildfire that started at Lakewood Country Club. This is it is on 33 acres of land, and it is 20% contained. No buildings are in danger, they say previously. So it looks like they should be able to get this under control, hopefully. But it says, according to the State Fire Service, crews have responded over 500 wildfires in New Jersey since October. That's over a 1,300% increase in wildfires over the same time last year. So There is, unfortunately, another wildfire burning in New Jersey, and hopefully they can get that under control. Let's talk about the good news is we have help on the way, hopefully. So looking at the models here, you'll see what we have. This high-pressure system finally gives way. We have what looks like a warm front coming through, or trying to make it through on Wednesday, but then it kind of gets stuck, and then we have the occluded. It's almost going to be like an occluded front, and there's going to be a low that's going to form along it, hopefully, and that low will come over our area and enhance the precipitation and give us a decent amount of rain, hopefully, for Thursday. And then that low is going to kind of sit over us on Friday and then slowly move out of here Saturday. This is the latest GFS here that we have. So you get the idea that we will have a low-pressure area over us, and that is going to hopefully enhance the rainfall and at least give us, I'm really hoping we see more than 1/4 of an inch. But, of course, there's still a lot of things that have to work out in order for that to happen. Let's go to the HRRR here. We should have the full 0Z HRRR in. So she'll show some of this event. Tomorrow, obviously, we're dry. It actually shows, it still continues to show a couple of perhaps light sprinkles make it over maybe New Jersey tomorrow night, which can only help things. And then as we get into Wednesday, it doesn't really take us to the event, but you can see how the rain is starting to break out over in this area here. Let's go to the NAM. The NAM does go a little further along. If we look at the 18Z NAM 12, and you can see how it kind of just pops over us, and that's because if we go and we look at this, the lift in the air, let's see if we can do the FGen, which we don't usually do, but kind of show it to you here. You'll see that there's some lift, and that's going to help enhance. It's going to help enhance the rainfall. Right now, it looks like the majority of that lift is going to be the north of us, but that would help enhance the rainfall. We can look at this also on the GFS as well. You definitely see not quite as impressive on the GFS, but still, it's good to see that because that would help enhance the rainfall. I'm going to go back to the HRRR now, and we'll look at our dew points and wind flow. So, obviously, we got the dry air in place. North winds tonight. Nothing too gusty for tomorrow. The north winds, and then they shift off to the west a little bit, and become light and variable. You notice the low dew points, but you notice the more humid air that's off to the south. That's going to help. This is what's going to create our rainfall. This is going to get lifted up over the drier, cooler air over at the surface, and when that low forms, that is going to actually help to generate this much-needed rain because things are really bad with this wildfire situation. Temperatures, fortunately, won't be as warm tomorrow. Tonight, probably going to be a somewhat cool night, probably dropping into the low 40s again. If you're in the Pine Barrens, could get close down to freezing again, close to freezing. And if you're in an urban landscape or an urban hellhole or a hot place like I'm at, well, you might knock up below 50. And then for tomorrow, it shows 60s over New Jersey, but Long Island probably won't make it as warm tomorrow. Probably going to be low 60s for highs. So definitely cooler, still above normal, but definitely cooler. And then the temperatures don't drop tomorrow night as much. And then for Wednesday, obviously, we're going to have the extensive cloud cover. Temperatures probably in the upper 50s to around 60 with that extensive cloud cover that we're going to have. It's really all about getting this rain here, all right? I'll briefly go over the skies, and then I want to talk more about the rain. So I'll look at the 12Z here, and you'll see tomorrow we'll have some increasing high clouds and maybe a little bit of high cloudiness, mainly off to the west. Should still be a decent amount of sunshine tomorrow. Just maybe a few more in the way of high clouds for tomorrow. It looks like it shows a bunch of them moving in the morning, and then they kind of get pushed away in the afternoon. So, but it will be cooler at least than it was today. Today was ridiculously warm. So let's go to some of these other models, and let's take a look at if we can look at the icon and some of the other models here. Unfortunately, so we're still in long-range territory with this rain event, but you can see what happens here. So, see, and that low forms, and we get a nice rainfall out of that, and that is what we need. And hopefully it's more than just a few showers. So, looking at total accumulated precip on the icon, half an inch, though some areas in Jersey could get gypped, but a half an inch at least to an inch, and then maybe some areas up to the north could wind up getting more than that. We can look at the European, which moves that axis of heavier precipitation a little more. Look at that. It has it actually right over. Let's actually play the thing here a little bit. So here actually has a heavy. European's really impressive. So the European, man, I hope this European is right. Really heavy rain. It could be a thunderstorm in there too, with this occluded front. And then you could see here that that low forms right along it, really enhancing the precipitation. Then that low kind of hangs around, and if the Euro were to have its way, it would be raining all day on Thursday. And then we would actually, where the rain would linger even into Friday if the Euro had its way. So, and then maybe a little bit on Saturday. It'd be kind of dreary, but we would really put a dent in this drought, because if we look at the total accumulated precip, you can see here, especially over where that Jennings Creek wildfire is, how about maybe 2, maybe even 3 inches of rain, maybe in parts of Nassau County, central Jersey, and 1 to 2 inches of rain over much of Long Island and in New Jersey as well. Other parts of New Jersey. So if the Euro is right, this would be great. We'd get a lot of rain from this. Doesn't mean that's going to happen, though. Obviously, the Euro has some different ideas. If we go to the GFS, again, has the axis of rain more to the north. But you could still see a good inch, at least, over Long Island, of that Jennings Creek wildfire. New Jersey would at least get a half an inch in their Pine Barrens. Which, again, we really desperately need this, because this thing, every day with these fires, it's just getting way, way out of hand. It really, really is. It really, really is. So let's look at our GFS here and take a look at the radar simulation on this. So, again, there's your occluded front, the low forms along it, and it kind of just sits. And the question is where that low sits, how far north does it go? If it sits over our area a little bit longer, we'll get some more rain out of it. We're going upstate, and it's showing some snow up here. It's gonna be. You may see some flakes, but I have a hard time believing that that'd actually be an accumulation. And then we actually see another chance for showers coming into the picture on Friday as well, and then it finally starts moving out on Saturday. So this would definitely give us some much needed rainfall if we could get into this, especially if that low sits on top of us. It's all about the placement of where this low is going to sit. Again, we don't really have a whole lot of short-range models to use. NAM only goes out this far, so we're still kind of depending on the long-range models here at this point. So we'll have a clearer picture of what's going to happen. But the potential is there for a decent amount of rain. But the NAM doesn't look quite as impressive with this. It has like one heavy band of showers coming through, and then it's over. And that's not going to be enough, though. It does try to bring some more rain back into the area later Friday night. And if we, again, look at the NAM, you see the NAM, which is usually a very wet model, is not showing nearly as much rain. NAM's kind of disappointing, pretty much. Only showing, it's really jipping southern Jersey, and then central Jersey could get between a half and 3/4 of an inch. Same thing for Long Island, and then maybe closer to an inch upstate. Obviously, this would help with the wildfires in the Jennings Creek area, but we really need a good rain to soak through, because if it's a half an inch or less, it's going to have a hard time getting down into the ground where it's really dry. You need an inch, at least an inch, to get in there and really wet the ground down. So we don't have this dry ground and dry brush that's causing all these wildfires. It's helping the spread of the wildfires. Obviously, people are causing the wildfires. But again, we're going to have to see. Obviously, it's still too early. We have different models that are saying the Euro is obviously being very bullish on the rainfall, but other models are not necessarily on board yet. So that's what it looks like for now. That's going to wrap up this Long Island weather report. Good night.